What the hell is going on, man? I'm just, if I'm honest, losing track of where football's going at the minute with all this money and commercial outlets and multi-club ownership schemes. It's really getting confusing for me anyway. Here we were thinking that we're special, that we are the PIF's one and true love, that we're the centre of their universe, and then they go out and get their hands on 4 other football club wives. I feel dirty, I feel used. But what does it mean for Newcastle United, if anything? It's coming up. Welcome back, it's Eddie here from Tyneside Life. Just a reminder, I'm heading off to the United States at the back end of July for Newcastle United's Summer Series competition, where we're going to be playing Aston Villa in Philadelphia, Chelsea in Atlanta and Brighton in New Jersey. We're hopefully going to be showcasing some of our new signings. We'll have a new football shirt, but hopefully I'm going to be bringing you some fantastic videos that are full of entertainment, information and gossip. I've also got 1 or 2 other things up my sleeve as well. So if any of that appeals to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. In fact, help me get to 30,000 subscribers before I hit the United States, and that would be amazing. Thank you. Also as well, if there's anybody out there who would like to enter into a sponsorship partnership, just drop us an email. That would be great. I'm also heading up to Glasgow on July the 18th for Newcastle United's match against Rangers and their testimonial match, so loads and loads to look forward to. In other news, because there's lots of stuff going on, yesterday Newcastle United announced an extension, if you like, to our sponsorship agreement with Fun88. They're going to be our Asian betting partner. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like or what that means, but it does mean that we're going to be having some more money coming in, some more commercial revenue that can be thrown into the pot to buy new players. So that's a good thing, but personally, my opinion is I'm not a fan of a betting company being involved with our club. There's also the Alan St-Maximin statement yesterday. Was that a good buy or wasn't it? I'm not entirely sure. My personal opinion is he strikes me as the type of individual who needs affirmation, he needs validation, he needs to feel loved. And I think he was probably putting some feelers out with the Newcastle fans to see how much love there is for him and how much we want him to stay, because it's clear there's going to be some European clubs sniffing around him in the summer. There is some speculation that AC Milan have been talking to Newcastle United. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I think Maximin's doing. He's just putting his feelers out to see if we love him enough for him to stay and be part of our story. Back to the PIF, and of course in October 2021 they were part of a majority takeover of our club, Newcastle United, a move that absolutely shook the footballing world. And just 3 weeks later they launched Live Golf and effectively went to war with the PGA by signing up some of the world's best golf players and throwing tons of money at them. Or just over 18 months later, now the PIF have bought 75% stakes, privatising, if you like, 4 of Saudi Arabia's leading Premier League clubs. It's done this because Saudi Arabia, with the PIF, hope to have the Saudi Arabian Premier League as one of the top 10 in the world. Currently it's 58th, but also to triple their market value to around about $2 billion. And they're going to do this by exploiting commercial revenue opportunities and private sector investment. The other 25% of these particular clubs are going to be owned and run by non-profit foundations. In order to help propel the Saudi Arabian Premier League into the top 10 in the world, they have a current mission for the upcoming season for each of those 4 clubs to have 3 world-class, high-profile players in their squads. Of course, Ronaldo joined one of them a few months ago. I'm not going to try and pronounce their names because I'm just going to make it tit to myself. But also Benzema is going to be getting involved, and potentially Messi. Ronaldo, for example, he's being paid approximately 177 million per year to play in Saudi Arabia. And of course, these high-profile players are going to be on mega bucks. What is interesting though is that Saudi Arabia and their league play outside of the financial fair play system that the rest of us in Europe have to abide by. So why are Saudi Arabia and the PIF doing this? Well, if you are the person out there that think that this is all to do with sports washing, I'm afraid you're going to sound like a 4-year-old trying to explain where babies come from. It is far more complex than that. And certainly it's a use of sports diplomacy through their economic vision 2030 in order for Saudi Arabia to move away from oil and to diversify its economic revenue streams to help support their country going forward in the next few decades. There's also a World Cup coming up in 2030 and Saudi Arabia hope to be putting a bid in for that as well. But also as well, by purchasing these 4 clubs and privatising them, it helps spread the financial risk. So what are the advantages for the PIF in buying, privatising these 4 big Saudi Arabian clubs? Well, they can then pool their resources between these clubs and optimise opportunities for sponsorship, coaching and scientific expertise and training, and to exploit talent as well, wherever that may be. And on paper, it seems like an excellent business model because, of course, like I've just said, it falls outside of the financial fair play parameters. But what has all this got to do with Newcastle United? Clearly, this is a game changer for world football. And like I said, we're seeing it now with Ronaldo already going to one of the clubs for mega bucks. But you'll note from the PIF announcement yesterday that Newcastle United weren't even mentioned. So on paper, at least, it has nothing to do with Newcastle United yet. And you'd think if it had, that our owners, being the type of owners that they are, they would have mentioned something about it. So clearly, for the moment, this is something separate from Newcastle United, but this multi-club ownership scheme may in the future start to pull Newcastle into it. What it won't mean, I'm certain, is that these Saudi Arabian clubs won't be luring some high-profile players to their clubs and putting them on mega money and then grossly undercutting their value to send out on loan to Newcastle United. That would be a clear breach of financial fair play. But it wouldn't make any business sense either for the PIF to do that. So remember, although Newcastle United are going to be benefiting massively with our arrangement and partnership with the PIF, they will do everything that they've said they're going to do to try and propel us to be one of the biggest clubs in the world and to bring us trophies. But this isn't about us, this is about them. In the future, in the mid-term and onwards, it might mean that Newcastle will become a part of an official multi-club ownership scheme, a bit like Man City and their City Football Group, and to take advantage of possible commercial opportunities. And that's the only way, realistically, that we can compete with the likes of Man City and Man United in Liverpool financially to help try and attract and buy some of the world's best players. It might also mean in the future that we can increase the size of, or the access to, the football talent pool, where there might be some sort of system set up whereby Newcastle United can loan up and coming talented Saudi Arabian players and players who are coming through the Newcastle United Academy may be shipped off to Saudi Arabia to help develop them there as well. But for the time being, I'm absolutely certain that this purchase of the 4 clubs has nothing to do with Newcastle United. Also as well, will our chairman, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, become the chairman of these 4 other clubs as well? I've got no idea. It'll be really interesting to see how this unfolds. But for now, I wouldn't be building up your hopes anytime soon that we're going to be taking advantage of what's going on with the purchase of these Saudi Arabian clubs and extra revenue, certainly in the short term. And I wouldn't be expecting Benzema to be joining Newcastle United on loan anytime soon. So this video hasn't been meant to be an in-depth analysis of what's going on with the PIF. I'm still trying to get my head around everything. I don't fully understand everything, but I hope the video shed a little bit of light on where this is going at the moment and what involvement it might have for Newcastle now and in the future. But let me know what you think. If you know a little bit more, please drop your comments below. I'm really interested to hear your views. If you like the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And until the next time, catch you later.